Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a mini book to share for Bramble Fox. I am using two sets from the store, one called Naughty Elf and the other one called Elves, and they contain elf themed items. So the Naughty Elf set has two titles, one that's white and says Mischief and Mayhem, and one is red that says Naughty Elf and it has some etched details on it. Then the Elves are a different set and they contain four gorgeous little elves, two green, two red, and they have etched details on as well. They're seriously super duper cute. So every year we have elves visit our house. Our house is under elf surveillance throughout the month of December, and they get up to all kinds of things throughout the month. They're not that naughty, to be honest. They're normally quite funny, and they do fun things, bring gifts and treats and bits and pieces and set tasks to be done. So they're quite nice elves. They're not naughty really. But they do get up to some mischief. So I thought I would make a mini book about their antics, and it actually turned into a December daily for our elves. So basically I am documenting every day that the elves are with us in December 2020. So I thought I would make a mini book out of envelopes. I've recently purchased this mini envelope punch board by We Are Memory Keepers. There's a big one, a normal sized one, and then this one is the mini one. I was delighted to find a mini version. So it makes envelopes up to 4 by 4 inches, and I don't need any envelopes to be much bigger than that, to be fair. So because I want to use them on scrapbooking, I don't want to use them to send letters or anything. So yeah, anyway, so I have this mini envelope punch board. It's super easy to use. You just look at the guide. So you have to look at what size you want your internal card to be. In other words, that's the size of the finished envelope, and then it will tell you what size paper you need to begin with, and then it will tell you your first score line. And the first score line is really simple. You line it up to the number on the first score line, and then you click down like I'm doing just there and score, and then you line up with the first score line that you did. So you rotate the paper, line it up with your score line, so you don't actually have to match it up with the numbers anymore. Once you've done your first score line, you work off of that the whole time. And then every side you click punch down, and it punches a notch out, and then you can punch the round off the point of the envelope as well using the punch on the other side. So it's a really cool little bit of kit. I really love it. I've used it so much since I've had it. Hopefully I'll continue to use it. You always need an envelope, don't you, for something. So yes, anyway, I thought I would make a whole mini book, and I wasn't going to do every day. I thought, I wasn't sure if I would. I was thinking, I could fit in like 4 or 5 photos in each envelope. So I've done 9 envelopes at this point, and I thought I could put in a few photos for every day and some journaling. Well, anyway, it kind of evolved, and every day contained multiple photos. So I ended up making these little tiny books to go inside the envelopes. Anyway, my album is now absolutely enormous, and on the day of filming this or narrating this, it's only the 21st of December, so we still have a few days before the elves leave us on Christmas Day. So I've still got some more to do, and I had to add some more envelopes as well at the end. But anyway, what I'm doing right now is the envelopes, because they're going to be a mini album, I felt that they had to have a closure. So they do tuck in, but I wanted them to have a proper closure because I knew there was going to be some bulk inside the envelopes. So I decided to make these little closures. I punched tiny 1/2-inch circles using a circle punch out of contrasting cardstock or paper, and I used brads to push them into place, and then I tied some twine around the first one, and that way I have a little closure, like a figure of 8 closure, on each envelope. So that's really awesome. I was really happy that I spent the time doing that. I did that for every envelope. You see that I made a really, really teeny tiny envelope. Actually, that one ends up getting axed because it was so tiny I couldn't even fit a photo inside. So that's just sitting here on my desk. It might get probably swiped by a child, or end up in a different project. Okay, so I'm now working on what originally was going to be my front cover. I do actually end up adding a tag which it's like a title cover title tag. Anyway, this is the second page in the book, and it's the first envelope, and I really wanted to feature a title from one of the Bramble Fox sets, the Naughty Elf set, and two of the elves. So I have made this piece of white, and I've just trimmed off the corner so that the whole closure, the hole in the top left wasn't covered, so I just notched off the corner there, you see. Then I have added pom-pom trim in white and red either side of that piece of white, and I'm going to stick that onto my my envelope. So the way I arranged my envelopes was that the smooth side, so the non-opening side, is the front, and I'm using those as pages. Although I don't have any photos on the pages, they're more for fun. So like embellishments and things, because all the pages are inside. So I'm working like effectively on the back of the envelopes, or the front of the envelopes, I suppose, with the opening part on the back. And so I've punched a hole in the top left corner of every one, and at the moment it's tied with a book ring. I started off tying it through with twine. I didn't like it because it was all just flopping around, so I took that off and added a book ring. I don't like that either. I've never been a fan of book rings, to be honest. I just think they're a bit boring, so I wasn't quite sure what to do. In the end, I've tied it through with some ribbon. It's much prettier than a book ring, so I've done that in the end, and you'll see that at the end when I flip through. But right now it's all being held together by a book ring, and that's quite a good way of working, because it means I can take each page off and work on it flat, whereas once you've tied it in with ribbon, it's harder to undo the knot every time, so not as easy to open up as a book ring. Okay, so I had the problem in that I wanted to use the white title Mischief and Mayhem, and that wasn't going to show up too well against the white background. So I tried various options. I tried, pink and coloured paper and all sorts underneath to make it stand out. But in the end, I went for lots and lots of flower ephemera. So, I forgot to say that I'm using almost exclusively using my hip kit for this one. So the November 2020 hip kits. I'm exclusively using that, other than the fact that I add a Hey Santa tag and a tassel, a tag. No, it is a tassel and a charm. That's the word I was looking for. And obviously the Bramble Fox items and the pom-pom trim that wasn't in the hip kit, but pretty much everything else is. I've taken, so in the end, I went for flower ephemera at the bottom of my front cover, and then a piece of red pattern paper. I struggled because really I wanted something that read as a solid, so I tried the light pink. That didn't look right. I tried the red and white. That didn't look right. So in the end I settled on this piece of paper that's red with different colours on. So it's got some green and white, which is just pretty, it's like a flower pattern. Oh, sorry, my little boy's come to join us on screen. You saw his car there. That was read enough that the Mischief and Mayhem title showed up quite well. So yep, I have just managed to stick that on there, and now I'm trying to work out what else I can put on here, because I can put the elves sitting on top of the title. That looks brilliant, but I still felt that they needed something else. So yeah, I found this Christmas tree that was perfect colours, the red, the pink, the blues, really, really pretty, and I have stuck that to the left of my elves, and then over on the right hand side I've put two candy canes. They look really cute as well, and then I wanted some stars for the background. So yeah, all from my hip kit, and just getting all of those stuck in place, and I now need to commit and stick on my perspective titles. So I'm just using glossy accents to stick that title in place, and to stick the elves in place too. Now the elves are frosted, so therefore sometimes you can see the glue behind them. I always worry about that with the frosted ones, but the way I get around it is to apply adhesive, and I say I always use glossy accents. I apply adhesive all over the back of the perspective, so rather than have like a dot here or a dot there, that would be more obvious to be seen through the frosted perspectives. So whereas if you cover the whole thing, it doesn't notice anywhere near as much. So that's the way I do it. Also, with the elves being etched, you can't really see the glue on the back anyway. So, okay, so I have massively skipped forward. I did a lot of work off camera. So basically, I was planning just to show you how to make the book, which is how I used the envelope punch board, made all the envelopes, tied it together, made my front cover, and that was it. I was planning to only show you that, but I thought I would, this is a number of days later, because I've been at this album for at least a week, maybe a week and a half, literally every day, not done anything else except this, so it's been pretty epic. Mini books tend to develop a life of their own. When I'm making them, they seem to take off, develop into something way more complicated than what the original idea was. Lots of stuff, interactive stuff. So every single one of my pages, if you like, my days, are all interactive as well, usually. So I just wanted to show what I'm doing with my photos. So this is day 19. I've cut a small piece of pattern paper for my front cover. It's the same size as my photo, I believe, and I've just added a stocking and a circle, just a punched white 1-inch circle using a circle punch, and then stuck on the the numbers 19, and then I've stitched through on my sewing machine because I just worry that the letters they're not letters, they're numbers, that the numbers will come off. So I've tried to stitch through, and I like the look of stitching as well, so it's a good thing. It has two purposes. So what I'm doing now is I'm creating a little mini book, tiny little mini book. I'm using some vellum. I've cut 1-inch wide strips of vellum, and they're as tall as my photos. And I'm just using them, sandwiching them in between photos that I'm sticking back to back. So I have two, which gives me two hinges effectively. Can you see there that now I have this lovely little book that opens up and has little hinges? So on the front cover I've got the number 19. Behind that I've got a piece of pink with that I can write my journaling onto, and then the next 2 pages are photos back to back. So there's 4 photos for day 19. I just thought that the front cover looks a little bit boring, so I thought I would, I've been putting tabs and things on lots of them, but I thought I would use a border punch here. So I've got a really tiny detail scalloped border punch, so I've just cut a strip of that and then put that in between those two, the front cover and the bit that goes behind the front cover. I've just got this red trim now on the side of day 19, so yeah, really cute. Okay, so day 20 I'm going to do something similar. I just wanted to, I've got a journaling card from the hip kit, and I wanted to use it. It says something really cute like Jolly Holidays or something. I'm just trying to actually find those pages in the book. It's right next to me, just so that I can look at them while I'm talking you through. Okay, so what are we on? 20. Yeah, so what I've done is I've cut, it says Jolly Holidays, and it's the red and white, which is my favourite pattern in the whole of the hip kit this month. So I have cut the journaling card down to the same size as my photo, which feels like a waste, but I'm going to use the other piece as well. I've just, it's the pattern at the top, and then it's white at the bottom. I've just added number 20 on there, and then I'm sewing it through right now on my sewing machine. Now normally I back the back as well so that the back looks fine, but on this occasion I'm going to have a different type of closure, which means you won't see the back of the photo, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Now I've got the front cover, which is day 20, and then I've got 2 photos, and then I wanted a journaling card as well, so I've made another journaling card. There wasn't quite enough of the journaling card left over to make another one the right size, so I cut a piece of white card and then added the pattern from the journaling card that I had left over to the top, so I have 2 matching pages effectively, the Jolly Holidays and then the back one, which is just for my journaling. It doesn't say Jolly Holidays unfortunately, but and then I've just pierced the top left corner through through of all of them with a brad, and that's it. It will just rotate up and you can see all the photos and the journaling in that way, and then close it back down. So that's day 20, and then day 21 I'm doing something slightly different. I've cut another journaling card down, but it's bigger than my photo, so it's about 1/4 of an inch bigger all the way around, so 1/2 an inch bigger. Yes, that makes sense. On both sides, or 2 sides. I just, this is a single photo day. So I just have the one photo, but I do want to put in some journaling, so I do need both sides. So in order to, and I want my number on there, so I couldn't get that on without having an extra piece of paper or something. So I cut the journaling card down. I've added a piece of vellum the same size but cut diagonally across halfway down, and then I'm sewing around the whole journaling card, capturing the vellum. So that means I've created a pocket, a vellum pocket. So you can see it's there, just done. I'm just putting my threads through to the back. I'm going to tie those and then just pop on a tiny bit of adhesive so that it doesn't unravel at a later date. The back of this journaling card, there's nothing going to be on it. I could decorate it, but I don't really need to, so I'm not going to. Just going to leave it white. And then on the front, that gives me a pocket to put my photo into, but I need my number on there, so my number is going to go on the bottom left on the vellum pocket. For my photo itself, it's just a single photo day. On the back, I'm just covering it with a piece of white so that I can write my journaling there, and I'm adding a tab which is cut with a tab punch that I have at home in my stash. So I've just, my photo is the photo, the tab, and backed on the back with white card. Then I've just pulled out a chipboard present from one of the Hip Kit sticker sheets, added the number 21. Now I want to stick this onto my pocket, but because the pocket is a pocket, I can't then sew through, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get the photo into the pocket. So I've had to take the sticker, the chipboard sticker, and the number 21, and then run that through my sewing machine prior to sticking it onto the vellum pocket. Now that was challenging because of course the sticker is sticky, so it was a little bit tough getting it through my sewing machine, but it worked out okay. So yeah, that's number 21 finished, and you can see that you can just pull that out and turn over, and then you've got the photo and the journaling revealed and just sitting in this cute little pocket. Okay, so that is a few pages soon. I've just shown you how to do a few pages. You'll see what I've done with the rest of my pages or days when I do the flip through at the end. So at this point I needed to thread this or rebind this album, because I say it took on a life of its own and it's a bit too big, and I had to add some more envelopes. And then I also made some cut files. Now these cut files are all by Marie Evans. No, Marie Hurst. Oh no, I don't know. I can't remember her surname. I'm just going to look that up. Pear Tree Paper Crafts, anyway. Hold on, let me look it up. Cancel new. Marie Hurst, goodness me, had a moment there. Silly me. Pear Tree Paper Crafts, she has absolutely, Pear Tree cut files, she has absolutely amazing cut files. So I've done 4 and I've backed them all in glitter. So I cut them in white, backed them in pattern paper, and then added glitter using glue over the letters and the details on the elves. I did backfill some of them with some pattern papers here and there, or with like their faces are just plain. But then I, as I say, put glue into all of the gaps, and sprinkled the glitter on. So I had to do it in sections. So I had to, if I was doing white, like for the cheeky little elves cut file, I've used red glitter and white glitter. So I did the red glitter first, and then I had to wait for it to dry before I could then add the white glitter into the other letters later on. But yeah, that was really fun to do, and I have these lovely little additions to my album there. I have punched holes in the top of all of the cut files. Obviously the envelopes have got holes in already. I've added 2 more envelopes because I needed to fit in some more days. They weren't all going to fit into the 9 envelopes that I originally made. I just had to restring it because my ribbon wasn't long enough, and because I needed to put in the other cut files and the other 2 envelopes. So I'm re-knotting this now. I just took another longer piece of ribbon and just knotting that in place again, and just adding my charm and my tag back in place. I got a little bit confused here because I had to shorten the tassel because it was too long. So then I've just knotted it, and then that gave me a little loop, which is what I attached the bead to and the charm, but then it was really difficult to thread it all through. So anyway, I got there in the end. So I was just trying to avoid cutting it because I'd cut one before and then the whole thing just fell apart. So I was just trying to be careful. Okay, so you can see that I am pretty much done there. There is all of the envelopes and the cut files are all now in place, and it's looking fabulous. I love it. I'm really happy with how things are looking. I have 2 envelopes there that are not decorated, so I'm just going to decorate those now. So that red one, I'm just using a journaling card from the Hip Kit Club Pocket Life kit, and I've really loved this card. I've been saving it, and it just says Merry, and it's on a bright red background. I love it. So I thought I would use that. So I've trimmed it down so that it will fit onto the front of the envelope with a nice border all the way around. It says Merry already, so I've just added the word everything. That's a chipboard sticker from Hip Kit, and I'm going to sew through that on my sewing machine to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, because chipboards do have a habit of flying off at sometimes, don't they? So I've added the bow at the top. That's a chipboard bow. I've got Merry Everything, and I wanted to add some other details as well. So I just went through and found those little acetate houses. They're so cute, but I'm going to put those on their own journaling card in a moment, and they can have their own page rather than try and fit them onto here. So I just added 3 stars onto Merry Everything, and another, I'm going to add I've added 2 vellum stars at the bottom. I'm adding a black puffy star at the bottom as well in that cluster, and another one to the right of the bow at the top. So that's that one complete. And then the next page I'm going to do with those acetate houses I just mentioned. So again, I'm cutting my a piece of white cardstock down to small enough so that it will sit nicely centrally onto the green envelope, and with a nice border around the edge. So I've just cut that down, and I'm going to distress the edges. I was wondering whether I could use the word home. So there's a title on one of the titles there that says Home for the Holidays. Now obviously that's not going to fit on this tiny little journaling card, but the word home would, but then I wouldn't be able to use Home for the Holidays on anything else. So I decided in the end to not do that and to use a couple of phrase stickers instead. We have some label stickers there. So yeah, I'm just going to add the 4 acetate houses, and I'm going to put a gingerbread house there as well, wood veneer, and then I'm adding 2 word labels at the top that say Merry and Bright and No Peeking. Just going to stitch through the acetate houses on my sewing machine, and then add the gingerbread house to the middle there as well. So I have those 2 pages are now complete. Right, I'm going to go over and do a flip through now. Right, here is a flip through of the final album, although I'm still only up to day 21. So I have my little crepe paper hay centre tassel on there. It was a bit long, so I've made it smaller, and I have a crepe paper hay centre charm and a bead. Then I have my little tag here, December Daily Elf Style 2020. Okay, and then we move on to the envelopes. So here are the fabulous elves, just love them. First envelope is here, and we have got day 1, which opens like this. Then we have the elf masks in a little keepsake envelope there. And then day 2, just a little pocket and 3 cards in there, and photos and journaling on the back. Right, then we have Fabulous Elves at Work cut file. Then the next envelope. Day 3, journaling there. And then all of my photos. Little Christmas newspaper that the elves had. Day 4. Journaling there. The little Christmas cards. Day 5. That was the word search that was in there. Photo on the back. This little one here, love this cute little elf, so cute. Day 6 is another pocket with photos and journaling and more photo, or a photo there on the back, and journaling, space for more journaling if I need it. The pocket is just made from vellum. Day 7 opens up. This is just the scavenger hunt that I did on the day. It's a bit beaten up. I wonder if I can find a copy. And there it opens into a little book like that. So that's day 6 and day 7. Cute little elf cut file here. We move on to the next envelope. Day 8 is a slide up. There was no journaling card on there, so I just put a little bit there. Then day 9 just is a little book like that. And then day 10 again is a pocket with photos and journaling. So they're all really quite straightforward, the little pockets. Day 11, turn over, and that opens out like that. They're all very simple to make, the little inserts. It's just rather a lot of them. I wanted to get that stuck on there properly. Right, the next pocket, we have got day 12, which is was movie night. So photo and just a little pocket in there to hold the tickets. Number 13, a little book that opens like that. And 14 flips up. And there's the journaling. Whenever you create little flip ups or flip outs, there's always extra space that can be added for journaling and extra photos. Okay, here we go. Cheeky little elf, backfilled in the glitter. Next one, love my little elf girly there. She's so cute. Don't know if they're boys or girls actually, I'm not sure, but they're all cute. Okay, day 15 is another pocket. 2 photos and journaling on the back. And day 16 was a single photo day. So that's my front cover for day 16 and just 1 photo on the back. So I also wrote my journaling on there too. Day 17 is a pocket that's sewn all the way around. So these just pull out, naughty or nice. And then we have journaling and pattern paper on the back. They just slot back in there. And then we've got the next one in here. I need to reseal this a bit. Got day 18, which is so super duper cute. Little mini album. It's really tiny. This is a Paige Evans cut file. Cute, hey, super cute. And day 19, the book opens up like that. I'll retie that in a bit. Take an Elfie, naughty elf, love this perspective here. And then in here we've got day 20, which is just one of those. And day 21 was a single photo day, so I just made a little pocket there, and the journaling is on the back. And that is as far as I've got. Still have a few more days to do. It's not actually Christmas yet at the time of filming this, so I have a few more days to go before the elves are finished their duties for this year. Anyway, thank you so very much for joining me for this little flip through, and the album. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, so that was the flip through of the final album. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the details. Obviously there's a few more days to add in once to December, or once the 25th is over. Here are a few close-ups of the lovely Bramble Fox perspectives. Love those 2 sets, Naughty Elf and Elves. Here are some close-ups of the internal little booklets. There's only a few. I couldn't possibly photograph every single one and all the pages inside. You'd have about 500 photos. So here's a few. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland for Bramble Fox.